I'm back. We getting through my hair. But look, so I'm going to pick up where we left off in part 5. But I brought my whole folder with me again while I'm getting my hair done, right? And so remember I told y'all, I haven't gone through in 28 years since this, as I titled it here, the year changed my life. Ooh, I didn't realize this is, look, let me cover this. December 17th, 2021. This was a parole board when they were trying to parole him. I was a smart 20-something-year-old. So if this was 2021, that happened in 97, 4 years later. So I was 24, 23, 24, 25. So I'm looking at this, trying to read this. Let me cover. I don't want y'all to be going looking for him. So I typed up all this myself. Look at this. The day that changed my life, my recovery, my present status. I had several plastic surgeries. I will talk about that. Monta Williams paid for a few of the plastic surgeries on my scars. Future plastic surgeries, children, psychiatric health, and why he shouldn't be released. So I didn't even get into this yet. But look, I was like, oh, what is this? I thought this was actually something like that the place gave me. This was me. So tell your 20-year-olds, any of this, document. I'm going to share this later on because we're not there in the story. So let's get back to him and what his mama said to me when I called her and was in shock. You know, the last one was that I called her and said, hey, because Brianna is only 9 and the police is coming to your house late and I want you to know, and her saying to me, be glad you didn't end up like the rest of them. So I've been using what I typed up to help guide my story. So that was the breakup. And so really the next phase after that is where he began to stalk me. And back then, this was 97. So this was the end of February. So we really only made it through less than 2 months of a relationship. It really was like 6 weeks. 6 weeks. But he spent more time stalking me after that. Now, I'm going to read from here. Nick began stalking me, calling me all the time, and begging me to be together again. Am I good? Am I moving? Okay. Y'all know when y'all getting, you can't be moving our head.
Doing too much moving.
I can't do all the moving, so I'm being good.
She's being good.
He would sneak into my building in the middle of the night and ring my doorbell, knock on the door, then hide in the stairwell. Oh my goodness. Hoping me to open the door. I remember this because look, he got to know my doorman. And certain neighbors would, you know, when you hold the door, when you go on the door and they just let you in. Because if you just walking up on a door and you see, y'all have seen the movies, right? Where if somebody's walking up, you assume you just hold your hand behind the door and let them in. He would do that. I remember I was on the 22nd floor. It was the 20-something. I feel like the 22nd came to me, the 22nd floor. Him hiding in my stairwell. I didn't have a neighbor on one side. This continued all the way up through April. I remember this time. So remember, we broke up. This was right before the end of February. The actual day that everything occurred was April 3rd. So all of the end of February into March felt like forever. I'm realizing like, oh, that's not as long. So it's almost like the same amount of time that we were together. He stalked me. For some reason, it felt longer. But as I reflect back, remember, I'm still in school. I'm a junior am I a junior? Wait, 97? I graduated 98. Yes, I'm a junior. I'm a junior in school. So it was weird to me. And I think I had already at some point in this time leading up to the 3rd, I had started dating someone else. But before that, I would see him. I would look out my window and this shit was so weird, y'all. I would see him and he would just wave. And I'm on the 20-something floor and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why can't he get over me? Like, I'm in my 20s. I'm not thinking. I remember him saying stuff like, I can't live without you. Remember Blackstreet was out and the Blackstreet song, don't leave me. If you leave, I'll go crazy. I'll go insane. Dun, 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 do, 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 dun, dun, don't leave. That's it. Yes, the Blackstreet song. Y'all know on the live the other night, that came on and I was like, no, I'm going to push through and sing this song because I like the song. But that... is that some kind of sick thing? I don't know, but I like the song, but he would say the same thing. But he also, at one point we were in a car chase through the city. He was following me in Newark, East Orange, that whole area. He chased me in the car. I remember going through a red light. One time I was in the grocery store. I was in the grocery store with the guy I was then dating. And he popped up in the grocery store. And I remember trying to tell him like, no, he's just weird. I don't know why he's still following me around. Now, at this time, I went back to my type. Hey, Billy. Hey, Eshawn. Yeah, his real name was Billy. His real name was Eshawn, but they called him Billy. So I ain't seen him since not too long after. Because let me tell you, I'm going to jump ahead real quick and come back. After the stabbing, because of how messed up I looked, he didn't call me. We didn't reconnect till later. Like, he thought I was never going to be beautiful again. That was, okay, we're going to fast forward back. Anyway, so he was stalking, following, and finally I'm like, okay, I guess I got to get a restraining order. A lot of people may say restraining orders make them matter. They do, but let me tell you, when they caught him, when he violated, so right here I have, on March 17th, I signed a complaint with the Patterson Police Department for a threat I received from him threatening to kill me. So that's when he started threatening to kill me, March 17th, right? This is the same day I obtained a restraining order. Then on March 4th, the East Orange Police arrested him for stalking me. So the arrest was the 24th. The stabbing was the 3rd. So you're probably wondering, how was he arrested? How'd you get? I know y'all gonna ask about Eshawn, Billy. He was super cute. So he was the cute boy that didn't need the hustle, but he did. And this was when the song by Mary J. Blige, I think Everything was out then. I forget, because this was 97. Or maybe I'm going back to when we got together. I might be mixing the timeline up because we was together, the stabbing happened, he didn't call me and stuff, and then we got back. So let me come back. But anyway, I liked Eshawn a lot. He gave me street and gave me good boy and gave me cute, and he lived with his mama, but his mama was divorced. But what I remember about her was that she took her trash out every night. She didn't play them games about keeping food in the thing overnight, and she had a real slim fit body. She was just going through a divorce from his dad, and she was all about, like, I think she was in her 40s. Because if I was like 20, then yeah, I admired her as a woman, how she was handling her looks, her household, that whole thing. So I remember that time. It's just crazy because as I'm reflecting, I'm like, dag, I really do like hot. Like, if you're not working for me as a man, like I really did. Hot. And I'm saying this because this is not planned, because maybe this will resonate with females. Like, sometimes you need some break in between. Because I did that and got right into, but that lets you know how serious I wasn't taking what Nick was saying to me. I wasn't taking the stalking serious. I wasn't taking him being outside my window, him in my stairwells. And y'all probably like, bitch, that's crazy. That's a lifetime. I was 20. I had never experienced that. But as I'm thinking back, if that was my daughter, you outside the window of her building and she looking out at night and you waving, that's kooky. Now, we found out later what he was doing. I'm hopping, so stick with me. You know, once we got into court, don't worry, I'm going to come back to the day of what happened. But once we got into court, I found out that during that time, he was in such a depressed state, which is why it got dropped from an attempted murder to aggravated assault. He had an appointment with a psychiatrist the next day. But his boss said that he was like not coming into work anymore. His mom said he had locked himself into his room at some point, and it was just getting really bad. I didn't know he was going through that, because to me, it's like, bruh, like, we dated 6 weeks. That's it. That's all. I'm 20. Granted, I thought he was just a few years older than me. I didn't find out until everything's being revealed in court that he was really 32. So for me, it's not like, and people would joke after all of this, guys out me like, your stuff must really be good, making niggas want to kill you. And that was funny, but it's like, she said, what? Any of y'all can relate to that, where they said that, and it's like, he, but it's like, nah. Now it's like, nah, that shit ain't cute. That ain't cute at all. So I wasn't learning things until it began to unfold in the courtroom. But those 6 weeks leading up to April 3rd, so look what I found, y'all. Remember, I told you, journal entries. I was logging everything for like a year, from the status conferences, everything. So I want to use this real quick before we get into the actual day of what happened, to kind of just retrace. So met him in early December 1996. Remember, talked to him, didn't like him. The first red flag was that I said in my notes he felt like he was trying to be my dad. But for some reason, and I don't know what happened in between, I ignored that red flag and went out with him New Year's Eve, and everything. What did I say? I said that was the best time of my life. I had never been so happy. I'm cooking, I'm massaging, I'm doing all this stuff at 20. He gambling, I'm going down with him. Okay, so that was all New Year's Eve, January. By the time we get 30 days in, beginning of February, I'm realizing, something's off, right? So we get to the third week in February. That's when I broke up with him. That's when he snapped out. That was the first attack. That's when I told his mama. And his mama was like, be glad you ain't end up like the rest of them. And then the first incident report was 226. 317, there was an incident in Patterson report. That's where he came to my house. It says several times, and I had beeper messages. And then 324. Maybe I need to pull the police reports. I want to see the police reports. Should I try to pull the police report and see what they said? I might get mad because, they don't be putting down what they need to. They don't be putting down what they need to. I put, what can be done by my landlord? Like, I was at 20 trying to navigate this, and really as a 20-year-old not filling my parents in. I can't imagine my 22-year-old daughter navigating this because they had already said, remember, when I brought him home, they said, we don't like him. They said, we don't like him. Like, why? So, when you're 20, you don't want to be proving your parents right. And I honestly didn't think I was in any danger. Even when he was saying, I can't live without you and threatened to kill me, I knew enough to go, well, let me call the police. Let me do this. But I also don't like the fact that I moved on so quick, with another relationship. And that was the early stages. But maybe sometime, how they say, like, it helps you get over what you're going through. But that lets you know it really wasn't that serious to me. It really wasn't that serious. But to him, he was crashing out. As we say now, 28 years later, he was crashing out. And I'm over here having no clue, trying to still live my best life with him popping up in my stairwell, popping up outside my window, popping up at the grocery store. I was in a whole freaking car chase through my own city running red lights with him. And it didn't click to me that Roxanne, you need to tell your parents. This shit ain't normal. So by 324, they put him in jail. And then he called my mom. He called my mom